Pelicans beat the Timberwolves 121-107. Zion Williamson drops 36 and totally responds on national media. Let's get into it.
Took away. Yes, for this. Get your money's worth.
Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, comment. Chaz and Ross joining me tonight. Chaz, let's get right into it. So Zion Williamson, 13 of 17 from the field, 10 of 12 from the free throw line, 36 points, only 5 rebounds. We'll talk about that, but 36 points. That's what you wanted to see tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off giving him some credit. Look, Zion showed up to work tonight, and that's probably as much credit as I'm going to give him, because I expect great things from a player with this talent level, right? I felt like the effort was there. Now, defensively, I give him a ton of credit, because that, like, Cat ain't no fucking joke, man. Cat ain't no joke. And them dudes, they were moving, they were flying around, getting some deflections, diving out of bounds a couple times. Zion had a couple nice out of bounds safe plays that led to big possessions. Nice strip for Rudy Gobert that led to Rudy Gobert having to shoot like a half court heave or something. So it's basically a steal. Offensively, I thought he just does what he always does. Dude is incredible around the rim. Kyrie-like finishing ability. When I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I don't think 36 points was enough, and it wasn't his own fault. I felt Zion's last shot attempt came at 4 minutes and 51 seconds in the fourth. It was off a 3-point shot bank play, went and knocked down a free throw. He didn't get another shot attempt for the rest of the game. To me, I just don't like that process. But I'm not gonna pick too much at the game. Good win, count it. Now consistency is the next step. Can you do this consistently? And that's what it's all about.
And Chaz, I'm glad you mentioned that, because now you got Washington, one of the worst teams in the league. You get Charlotte. That should be a win. And then you get another really bad team in San Antonio. So as you say, consistency, like, cool, took care of business at home. No Anthony Edwards, it doesn't matter. You play the team that's in front of you.
Right.
But I would be disappointed if they went 2-1. Like, they need to go 3-0 here in their stretch. They have to.
4-0.
Like 4-0 for the week. Well, 4-0 for the week, 3-0 in this next stretch. So Ross, it was evident tonight. It was just so clear that Zion Williamson was engaged. He had energy. He attacked the rim. He got to the free throw line 12 times. What did you see from him tonight?
Oh, yeah, he ate tonight. No pun intended. No, he look, Chaz, me and Chaz for sure, but I know we've all kind of given Willie Green a hard time about the whole, like, you gotta fight thing, but, like, you do have to play hard. Like, that's not this is the NBA. That's not a prerequisite. It's an expectation. And what I saw tonight was a team that played hard. Like, I mean, and what I consider to be an undermanned T-Wolf squad. Like, you came out and you didn't play with your food. Like, you beat the shit out of a team that, in my opinion, without their best player, you're supposed to beat at home. They played hard. They played like a team that maybe was pissed off. Like, especially Zion. You could tell by the interview after with Jen Hale, the way he walked down the tunnel. Like, yes, the dude that's pissed off. I mean, we talked about it last night. Like, the national media just shit on you for 72 hours. I'm glad that you showed up pissed off and played that way. Now do it again, and do it again, and do it again.
Yeah, a lot of people texted me, Chaz, about this. I don't know if you've seen the interview with Jen Hale after the game. He was could you kind of explain what happened there? He was kind of short answers. What did you say?
I saw the same, thing you saw in the first couple weeks of the season with how he was kind of just trying to be a little more stoic with the media. And I mean, after how he got, I mean, hey, maybe he thought shit was sweet for a little while and forgot how the media works. And maybe now he's trying to send more. Like, everything I've ever heard about Zion and his camp is that they're not afraid to just do a 180 with the media and just totally shun them all together. So I think that's what you saw a bit tonight. Not that there's anything against Jen Hale at all. It's just that she happens to be the medium tonight. I think anyone's going to get that same reaction. She just happens to be the medium tonight. But I think it's temporary, personally. I think it'll wear off.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I have no problem with this. Like, this is not something like,
no.
you outwardly showing the world that you're a little pissed off, like, good. I mean, this is not an issue for me. I don't think any less of Zion. Again, this had nothing to do with John Hale either. I don't think anything less of him. Like, that's cool. Like, that to me shows that you're listening. Like, you heard people and it affected you. That's cool. That's good.
And that's the same response I got from a couple of people that texted me. I was like, good. I'm glad he's pissed off. He should be pissed off. Like don't just have like I like it is one game, but like it's like we talk about being consistent. Like you got to be consistent. Like I want to see this almost be an asshole. Like be an asshole. Like LeBron's an asshole. Like he is. Like all the greats are asshole. Like Kobe wasn't like this like nice guy and like the famous clip, right? Like job's not done. Like job's not done. Like what is there to be happy about next game? And I actually really am glad about that. Chaz, let's talk about something that like it's starting to kind of piss me off. I don't understand the Jordan Hawkins DNPs now. Look, I get he's a rookie. He's not good defensively. I understand it. I know, Ross, you're laughing. It's pissing me off because, dude, we're stunting growth. Like, you can't tell me that you have Jordan Hawkins setting all these rookie numbers with 3-point makes and all this shit. And what did they go from the 3-point line tonight? They went
10 of 27.
10 of 27. Shot 37%. They were shooting 30% like going into the third quarter. Then Najee hit a three and like a couple of threes went in. But like Brandon like banked one in at the end of the second quarter.
It was like, one of those games.
Yeah, it was like one of those things. But like Chaz, I'm not understanding getting major minutes. And I know there were injuries. I get that. But then just totally going cold turkey and going DNPs. Like that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I think sadly, man, again, when you zoom out, it's such a flawed process, even in a victory, because there's like the Lakers game tonight, there's several instances where there's one shooter on the floor. And if that shooter happens to have a bad game, you don't really have anyone else to take the gravity or the attention away from a Zion, or even to capitalize like on the attention that's being that's being paid to Brandon or Zion. And to me, it's just like, even with Hawkins, I think that's a travesty, all things considered. And I also think, I'm not trying to, accuse nobody of nothing, but I don't like what's happening with Matt Ryan's situation. I feel like if Matt Ryan can play, let him play. Let's not play these games, because you got to wake up pretty early in the morning, to get one over on me. Like, I see what's happening here. I don't like it. You need as much shooting on the floor as possible. You don't necessarily have this cachet of just individual scorers who are able to go out there and put up big shots. Again, Herb hit a big three tonight. Stuff like that just doesn't regularly happen. He's been better this season, but you need more people out there to space the floor. This is 2024 now, going to 2024.
And what you're referring to, Chaz, is Willie Green saying that Matt Ryan's gonna be out for a while. He went out, I believe, with. Did he go out with like a hand? What was his original injury? Was it a
hand? He went out with a sore calf, and now all of a sudden,
when did the elbow thing happen?
I don't know.
Just an elbow thing. So yeah, Ross, what are your thoughts on these Jordan Hawkins minutes? Because I'm gonna pull up some of his stats, but just a couple of weeks ago, I mean, he was getting, a couple of weeks ago, he was getting 25, 15, 24, 25, 40, 20. Like, look, I'm not expecting the kid to get 25 minutes a night, but you can't get him in for 10, 8, 10, 9, 5, something.
You know why? This is one of those things where I hear you, but I'm not surprised. And you shouldn't be surprised either, because you know exactly why he's not going to play, and it's because
is he bad defensively? Because there's a lot of people bad.
That's part of it. No. That doesn't have anything to do with it. Willie Green's two favorite players are back healthy.
Who are his two favorite players?
Jose and Najee. And their minutes are fixed. They are locked in. They are not wavering. And
Jose Alvarado tonight, 15 minutes, 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from deep, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, minus 11.
I'm not saying I agree with it. This is what I'm telling you. I think it's ridiculous, but I'm explaining to you, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago whenever CJ came back. This was probably what was going to happen, because Willie wasn't going to take minutes from them other two cats. I think it's nonsense. I think there are definitely lineups where he could be useful, but I just don't. I
Overblown a little bit. I mean, like I just
no, I don't think
can't.
it's over. I don't think it's overblown. I think it's terrible. I think it's ridiculous.
No, I
that he's not
meant
playing.
to like look like I know the on and off numbers weren't like the best, but like it's a stretch. It's a stretch of 5 or 6 games. Like you can't just bench. I'm more in the fact of like you're playing a young kid 25, 30 minutes a night, then all of a sudden he's getting 0. So like tell me, like, for his confidence, what does that do?
That's what I don't like, Justin, is that while I totally disagree with him just not, getting DMPs or throwing him in there for the last minute or whatever. I would just rather see him in Birmingham. Like, just go let him beat up on the G League and just get as many shots up as possible. Work on some of the things he needs to work on. I've never been a huge fan, especially for rookies, of like, hey, go sit down there on the end of the bench and learn something. Like, no, I'd rather you just go play. And I'd rather you go get your confidence right in the G League and just beat the hell out of lesser competition to keep yourself sharp if we do need you, because we know somebody's going to get hurt and you may be called upon to jump right back into 20 minutes. I totally hate the like just letting a guy rot and letting a night, however old he is, just sit down there and rot.
Because we saw it with Trey Murphy, his rookie year. Yeah. Right, where like he was like up and down, went to G League, then kind of didn't go to G League, then he had big games against like the Lakers, then like had a huge shots against the Clippers, but like I'm just really frustrated on this topic because I think you kill a kid's confidence by doing this shit. I really, really do. I know that Zion went off tonight. And we're talking about a win, but this is now back-to-back nights, or like not even back-to-back. It's like 3 out of 4 where Jordan's just not even playing, and I'm just like, look, I get it. Defensively, he's not great. Maybe he wasn't shooting the ball great, but dude, shooters go through slumps all the time.
And this is why, and not any of us, but some people, they just weren't. Some people in the comment section, they just weren't intelligent enough to understand. A lot of people had issue with drafting Jordan Hawkins. Well, a few of us had issue with drafting Jordan Hawkins because if this team is healthy, if CJ and Trey are healthy, how does Jordan Hawkins play? Like, where does he get his minutes? I think we all kind of knew that he's not going to play over Jose or over Najee. Najee is more of like a 3-4 position type guy, but it's really him and Jose. You know what I'm saying? And I think most of us kind of knew that he wouldn't see minutes. Honestly, if this team is healthy coming into the season, I don't think we ever see Jordan Hawkins. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, I hate the process because, again, you have equity in this guy. This is someone like you need him to succeed. You don't necessarily need anyone else to succeed, but you need him to succeed. So I feel like you should lean into his development. And I do think it's troubling that he's not getting any minutes.
Let's talk about
go ahead. Real quick to your point, Justin. I mean, I think there are some veterans that are more accustomed to the ins and outs of an NBA season and can be ready when called upon. Yeah. I don't think a guy who's played 15 games in the NBA is that same type of player. And so I mean, look, I can be wrong there. But yeah, that's why I don't like the process of hey, go sit down there till your number's called. It might be 5 games from now. It might be tomorrow. I don't love that process for a rookie.
No, I don't. And with a rookie, you want consistency, whether it be 8, you can get him in for 8 minutes a night, man. Like I'm looking at, I love Jose. I love the energy he brings, but 15 minutes a night goes 0-5 from the field. He's an undersized point guard. Like I just, it was, once again, I was actually surprised, but maybe that's my fault. Chaz, let's talk CJ. So CJ today at shoot around said he's starting to feel a lot better. He's getting through the process a lot better. Obviously, with the collapsed lung, he had a new child born. Now he's starting to get back. He talked about into his routine tonight. I thought he looked the best he's looked, in my opinion, since coming back from that scary injury. 8 of 15 from the field, 4-7 from deep. Was in control, plus a team high, second team high, plus 21 tonight with 23 points. What'd you see from CJ?
I thought the stamina appeared to be there as far as him moving around. The first step seemed to be there a little bit. He was able to get into the teeth of the defense. Didn't finish incredibly well, but I liked some of the intentions. Hit 2 big threes in the fourth quarter. I thought CJ had a pretty solid game by his standard. I mean, I expect him to be better once he fully gets back back to himself. But coming off a tough injury, like you just said, newborn, travel situation is still kind of funny, where he's driving and commuting and shit. But overall, I thought CJ hit some big shots down the stretch and played well.
Yeah. Ross, anything on CJ?
I think Chad said it. For me, it was the conditioning. I think you could see that he just seemed to have a little more pep in his step. And I mean, look, the quote unquote big three scored 79 points. Like, that's what, like, I mean, I hate to say that's the expectation, but if this team wants
why do you hate to say that? Can I ask you that? Why do you hate
well, I mean, 80 points is a lot of points. But when, that's kind of what we need those guys to do on a nightly basis if this team's going to be successful. So, yeah, I thought CJ played well. I actually thought Brandon had a good game. I really did, even though, I mean, he took 13 shots. I thought he made a couple big threes. I mean, obviously one at the end of the shot clock, but the other one he took I thought was good. And obviously Zion was great. So, no, I thought the big three played pretty well.
Chaz, last segment, presented by Cumming Burger, located 4600 Red Street. Jonas Valanciunas. You had a couple of interesting texts to the group tonight. But once again, Jonas shows up, another double-double. You did mention, and I thought this was actually interesting. I'm not saying you're advocating for trading Jonas, but you're saying Jonas's trade value has not necessarily skyrocketed, but has definitely gone up since the beginning of the year. Kind of see, like, what have you seen from JV, right? And then also, I guess moving forward, right? He's in a contract year, so he does have a very movable contract. Mm-hmm. Do you expect here, I guess, the Pelicans to maybe start making a move, or do you think that they hold on to him?
I think much to the team's peril, there's still not enough clarity on the situation because still don't know who you can depend on. And I think JV is arguably the most reliable guy on this team, this until CJ kind of gets back into who he is. I think what I'm seeing from JV is I'm seeing him match other teams' physicality, and which is sometimes an issue for JV. Sometimes he takes the finesse route out, but I think you see JV just falling into that old school big role. I also think he just matches up well with those two guys. But before that though, JV's been on a streak of matching other teams' physicality. Makes his free throws, is a good rebounder, has set some really solid screens tonight that I thought were really impressive. I do think right now his trade value is higher than probably any time it was in the offseason. My number one reason for kind of looking at moving JV is because I know Willie Green isn't necessarily a huge fan of JV. So right. I think if Larry Nance is available, maybe you don't see JV. So that's a very real situation that you have to consider.
Yeah. And Ross, not to mention JV. It's funny I have this clip. Actually, I'm gonna play this clip right now. This was JV after the Lakers lost.
We gotta do better. That's all. Simple as that.
What are some of the things that you guys saw when you looked at the film of Thursday?
It was kind of lack of effort. I don't know. It was hard to watch.
So lack of effort, hard to watch. I think we take JV for granted. Actually, I know that for a fact. But also, he's one of the leaders of this team. He's not scared to speak his mind. He's always talking. He's communicating on the floor. And as Chaz says, it's funny. He did it again tonight, and I thought it was actually a genius move on Cat. He does the sweep through move where it's just you pick up a cheap foul. Guess what? Karl-Anthony Towns fouled out tonight. Those cheap little moves that he does cause Karl-Anthony Towns to foul out later in the game tonight. It's just he plays with an IQ. He plays the same way. You know what you're going to get with him every single night. And to be honest with you, man, I know he has deficiencies with defensively. He's a slow foot guy, but every single night this dude brings it. And I think that he's not talked about enough.
It's an understood, we use the whole he'll bring it every night, but he literally plays every. You don't talk about why he's why I consider him a leader, because he plays every game. So it's that's part of being a leader, is constantly being out there. Availability is your best ability, and so kudos to him for that. We've talked about this a little bit. The two areas that I feel like he has actually improved upon from last year. Now, some of it may be injury last year. And some of it maybe he just improved. I feel like he's passed the ball so much better this year.
Oh, he had that no look. to
he's passed the ball
CJ.
so much better. Yeah,
The dunker spot.
so much better this year. There were a lot of times last year where if you sit to a JV, it was almost a guaranteed turnover. He's gotten a lot better at passing out of those type of situations and just being part of the offense and making good passes. Fair enough. And then the second part of that is I feel like he's playing better defensively than I think people give him credit for.
Yeah, he's been really.
I think part of that is he seems to be moving his feet a little better. He does there were times over the last few years where he really looked like he was playing with cement shoes on, and this year he seems to have he's just a little quicker. I mean, just a hair quicker, and I think it's made a lot of difference in terms of him contesting some shots and him staying in front of guys. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's a contract year, but regardless, I think he's played really well. So, I agree with everything you guys are saying.
Chaz, do you remember? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't JV the year before play FIBA and didn't he get hurt? And was a tunnel? There was a tunnel video where he collapsed or he was limping or something like that. That guy's always playing hurt, but maybe to Ross's point, I feel like he's moving. He's just moving better this year. He seems to be moving way better this year.
He's playing intentional basketball, and I also think it helps that he's not looking over his shoulder right now. So he's free to gamble a bit more, free to make mistakes. I really think you can't overstate enough how a person feels if they know that, hey, if I do this, I'm not going to get pulled. Oh, I'm going to be closing these games. Let me run a little harder. Let me try a little harder. Let me, take this elbow because I know it's going to pay off in the end.
Right.
And I really think that's also playing a major factor. And the man trying to get paid, I think he deserves his money.
35 minutes tonight.
35 and basically was kind of
35
closing.
Minutes last year. Yeah.
That was his 11th double-double of the year. He's played every game.
It's impressive. Very impressive. Professional.
You can't dude, we don't talk about him enough, man. He's a leader of this team. And to show up every single night with all the bullshit, all the ups and downs of this team, and to show up every single night and give it his all, man. That's damn. That's pretty impressive. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's hear from our sponsor over there, Draft. In the NBA, the game can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BOOT. New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOT. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Make sure you hit that like button. We'll see y'all, I believe, Wednesday night.